Are your kids renting a movie this weekend? Horror films like these are the most popular choice. Graphic orgies of blood and violence.
And they watch.
Dude, I love the phrase orgies of blood and violence. That's so cool.
15 murders in an hour and a half.
Children mesmerized.
I like the gore.
But are they harmless?
It's always a female victim, and is generally in a sexual context.
Both false. So it's not always a female victim. I mean, most of these slasher movies have male victims and female victims. In fact, a lot of times it's like a bunch of couples, and one by one they're all taken out. And usually the one survivor is a strong female character. Yeah, so I don't know. That's completely false. I mean, you watch any of the Friday the 13th movies, you watch any of the Halloween movies. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of male victims that are murdered just as brutally as the female victims.
With reports that life may now be imitating art, Bob Brown shows you what the kids...
Yeah, because no one was stabbing anybody. There was no murders before these movies came out, you know. Some normal, sane, well-adjusted person was sitting around, but then they saw Jason Voorhees hack a lady's head off, and they're just like, you know what? That looks like fun. I think I'll do that as well.
Kids are watching VCR horrors. Also,
horror movies, mutilation, decapitation, torture.
Cool.
Does that sound entertaining?
Yeah.
More blood than a blood bank. Have we got your attention?
Yeah.
Well, you may.
I love how she said, more blood than a blood bank. Have we got your attention? It's like, yeah, because you're the same thing as what like, there's a great line. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the Weird Al song Nature Trail to Hell before. I'm sure some of you have. It's a song about a movie that doesn't actually exist. I don't think it actually exists. It's called Nature Trail to Hell. It's like he's like parodying, you know, all these like slasher movies. And there's a line in there that says, what do you got to lose? If you like the 6 o'clock news, then you'll love Nature Trail to Hell. Because the idea that the news is not serving up blood and gore and decapitation and mayhem and death on a nightly basis is fucking insane. Of course that's what they do. Have you ever heard the term, if it bleeds, it leads? That's not a horror movie term. That is a news term, okay? So, and you know what the big difference is between the horrors depicted on the news and the horrors depicted in a freaking horror movie are? The horrors depicted on the news are real, and the horror movie and the horrors depicted in the horror movie are pretend. So which one's really the more like insane, damaging, salacious thing? A lot of people have asked me, hey, where do you do your live streams? And the answer to that is that I do live streams called Abandon Hope every Sunday on the Pessimist Productions Patreon. That is linked down below. There is all sorts of other stuff on that Patreon as well. It is about $7 a month, and I think that we offer a pretty generous amount of content in exchange for that membership. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to check out the Patreon link in the description section of this video.
Be sickened, but what about your kids? They seem to love every moment of today's horror films, movies that by comparison make Frankenstein seem cute and cuddly. If you find this
great delivery, Barbara, I could see why you I can see why you were a pillar in the industry.
Disturbing, just wait, because there is a whole other dimension.
There is, since VCRs, half of American households now have
a whole other dimension. There is VCRs. They're portals to hell.
Video cassette recorders. And for many children, they're a ticket to R-rated gore that the kids are too young to see at the movies.
No. I don't know what you can't. A child was not allowed to go in to buy a ticket for an R-rated movie. A child was also not allowed to check out an R-rated movie from the video store. In both instances, if you were a kid and you wanted to see an R-rated movie, you had to get your parents to accompany you. If you were a kid and you wanted to rent an R-rated movie, your parents had to rent it for you. So in both instances, there is a parental barrier to you getting that material.
So, do you know what your children are watching? Well, parents and psychologists are very concerned. And tonight, Bob Brown
well, then
will show
don't
us
rent
why.
it for them.
Fair warning, though. There is some graphic violence in this, but we say that for you, not your kids. They've probably already seen it.
First,
First, you were frightened by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then you were terrorized by Halloween. And now, prepare to be pulverized, traumatized, and hospitalized by... Splatter you.
Dude, trailers now suck fucking balls compared to that. Prepare to be paralyzed, traumatized, and hospitalized. Fuck yeah. I'm gonna watch fucking Splatter You right after I'm done fucking doing this, man. Holy shit.
I like the gore.
Hell yeah.
I love blood and guts and stuff, you know. I'm serious, it turns me on, you know, ever since I was a little kid. I love the feeling of being
A little too candid there.
scared, you know.
Saturday afternoon matinees
Oh,
aren't
fucking
what
Evil
they used
Dead
to be.
2,
To begin
yeah.
with, kids don't have to go to them.
Evil Dead 2 fucking rules, man. Evil Dead 2 is one of the best movies ever made.
Movie theater, they can bring the movie home from the rental store.
Man, what a slow news day this must have been. You know what? These motherfuckers, they don't give a shit about any of this. They just want an excuse to show a bunch of gory scenes from these horror movies. And if anything, I bet you the studios put them up to it. They're like, yeah, could you promote these movies to us? Because all this does is fucking add to like the allure, right? This is just great fucking marketing for this material. Hey, those fuddy-duddies on the fucking news don't like it. Look at all this blood and guts that they fucking hate so much. Dude, Army of Darkness is not... Man, don't even do this. Don't do this right now. Army of Darkness is a good movie. Army of Darkness is a fun movie. Army of Darkness is not fucking worthy of licking Evil Dead 2's fucking asshole, right? Facts are facts. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Some of the most popular kinds of tapes to watch don't resemble the old Hopalong Cassidy or Superman movies. The kids call them slasher or splatter movies. And they get together to watch them at gross-out parties.
Gross-out parties? Is anyone my age? Does anyone remember being like, hey, let's have a gross-out party. We'll watch some spatter movies. I don't remember that ever happening. That's not a thing. That wasn't a thing. You lying motherfuckers.
The movies are extremely violent, sexually
Cool.
provocative, and have graphic displays of mutilation.
And here they are, right on the news for you to enjoy as well. Here's a montage of all the crazy moments.
We asked 3 groups of kids why the movies appeal to them.
I see them with my friends, and we like see who can keep their eyes open the longest.
Slumber Party Massacre. That was a classic. This guy just goes around killing people. I mean, that's the plot of all scary movies.
Kids get the movies from the horror section of the video store. Most of the violent movies are rated R and aren't supposed to be seen unless you're 17 years old.
No, that's not what it means. That means you can't see it without parental guidance. It's, I mean, like, it's literally the fucking rating is defined, right? Like, it's on the description of the rating. The following previews are approved for appropriate audiences, blah, blah, blah. R, restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. That's what that fucking means.
Others are made directly on videotape and bypass the rating system altogether. Video store owners say the movies are usually in their top 3 rental categories. Kids say it more simply.
On Monday morning, the biggest attraction is a kid that's seen one of these disgusting movies of the weekend. And, I mean, in incredible detail. And then this guy takes his thrill.
Man, this is making me so fucking nostalgic, dude. I remember these days. I mean, I wasn't really doing it in 1987 because I was like 2. But like, you know, this was still going on in the 90s. And when I was a kid in the 90s, I tried to rent every fucking horror movie I could get my hands on. I loved it. I loved all the blood and the gore and the guts and the carnage and the mayhem, the mutilation. That's fun shit. That's good entertainment. And I hate these little fucking whiny ass fuddy-dud newscasters. Like, man, kids shouldn't be watching this shit. Fuck you, news. You know, as you guys are showing a giant montage of every fucking, the most disgusting scenes you possibly can to your fucking audience to entertain them with it. I remember one time my my stepmom, she'd like decided one week that like Jesus had come to her in a dream and told her not to let me rent horror movies anymore. So I couldn't rent horror movies for like a week until she forgot her stupid dream. Luckily, she was a total alcoholic, so I think she probably just like drank away the memory of Jesus telling her that in her dream. She's like, you can't rent no more R-rated movies. Jesus told me it's wrong. It's like, oh man, not Jesus. You're making me not like the guy. But yeah, man, renting horror movies as a kid was awesome. I don't know what the relationship is between kids and horror movies now. I'm sure it's probably way easier to get them, if anything, because now, you know, you probably have access to like a Netflix library or some kind of video streaming library pretty easily. You can get it. But back in my day, you had to rent it out in video store. And them's was the days. She was drunk on the blood of Christ, TJ. That's another thing, man. All these Christians whining about these horror movies. But then you watch their idea of a good family fucking film. It's Passion of the Christ. Literally a dude being brutally tortured bloody for fucking 2 straight goddamn hours. Just like the maximum amount of human suffering and degradation. Just someone being fucking brutalized and beaten, tortured as he screams and cries. Ah! And they're like, this is good, wholesome family entertainment. It's like, what is wrong with you people? How is this good, wholesome family entertainment? But Jason Voorhees fucking chopping off a co-ed's fucking head is like, oh my God, what have we become? You know?